The fight game is never short of surprises, but when Khabib Nurmagomedov speaks, the entire MMA world listens. In an unexpected and controversial move, the former UFC lightweight champion and now mentor coach to Islam Makhachev took to social media to announce a blockbuster showdown between Islam and Australian welterweight powerhouse Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, before the UFC did. The MMA community was left in a frenzy. But Khabib's bold defiance of UFC protocol wasn't the only thing making headlines that weekend. In another corner of the octagon world, a lesser-known fighter thought it wise to mimic Max Holloway's iconic hands-down, point-to-the-ground taunt mid-fight, a move made famous in his clash with Calvin Kattar. But what followed wasn't a highlight reel performance. Instead, it became a brutal lesson in hubris, ending with the impersonator sprawled unconscious on the canvas. Two stories, one weekend, and both serve as explosive reminders of what makes MMA so unpredictable and compelling. When Khabib Nurmagomedov walked away from the sport of MMA in 2020 with an unblemished 29-0 record, few doubted he'd remain deeply involved behind the scenes. As coach and lifelong friend of Islam Makhachev, Khabib's influence continues to cast a long shadow across the lightweight and welterweight divisions. But this time, he might have gone too far. The announcement that shook the UFC. On a quiet Thursday night, with no UFC event slated for the weekend, Khabib posted on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena. October. Abu Dhabi. Let's go, brother. At Team Khabib. No UFC logo. No Dana White quote. No official promo poster. Just Khabib and his trademark conviction. Was this real? Was the UFC behind this? Was Islam moving up to 170 permanently? And perhaps most provocatively, was Khabib stepping on the UFC's toes? The UFC is known for its tightly controlled announcements, often timed to maximize promotional momentum. Fighters are usually gagged from revealing bout agreements until UFC executives, namely Dana White, give the green light. Khabib bypassing that protocol is highly unusual. Coaches don't typically announce fights. Fighters themselves barely get to say anything until the promo package is ready, said Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. So for Khabib to leak this, that's a big deal. It either means he's asserting his dominance, or he's frustrated with the pace of negotiations. There's history here. Khabib has previously voiced his displeasure with the UFC's matchmaking delays. He believes Islam has earned the right to chase greatness across divisions, not wait for lightweight challengers who aren't ready. Makhachev is the reigning lightweight champion, having defended his belt against Alexander Volkanovski and Charles Oliveira. Jack Della Maddalena, on the other hand, is a rising welterweight star with thunder in his fists and clinical boxing that has overwhelmed everyone not named Sean Brady. Abu Dhabi in October has been the unofficial home of Team Khabib for years. Islam is running out of lightweight contenders. Justin Gaethje was KO'd by Holloway. Oliveira and Poirier are coming off losses. JDM, a striking sensation from Perth, has been eager for a top-tier, career-defining fight, and has shown interest in cutting to 155 if the stakes were high enough. If the fight is indeed booked, official UFC confirmation still pending, it will be one of the most fascinating tactical battles of the year. Islam Makhachev, the Dagestani grinder, is relentless with his wrestling, smothering control, and precise submissions. His last two wins over Volkanovski and Oliveira demonstrated both patience and brutality. Jack Della Maddalena, on the other hand, is a boxer's dream. His head movement, counterpunching, and body work are reminiscent of classic pugilists. He thrives in the pocket and has vicious intent with every combination. The question is whether he can keep the fight standing. And that's where the intrigue lies. If JDM can frustrate Islam on the feet and prevent takedowns, he might expose gaps in the champion's defense. But if Islam gets the takedown early, it could be a long, suffocating night for the Aussie. When pressed at a power slap media scrum, yes, seriously, Dana White offered a cryptic response. We've got big things planned for Abu Dhabi. That card's going to be stacked. That's all I'll say for now. Translation: either Dana's annoyed that Khabib broke the news first, or he's scrambling to finalize a deal that's already been leaked. MMA fans aren't known for their patience. But for now, all eyes on Abu Dhabi. While Khabib was shaking up matchmaking politics, another fighter, this one on the regional scene, was busy going viral for all the wrong reasons. Max Holloway's legendary moment against Calvin Kattar, where he screamed, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC," while dodging punches with his hands down and landing counters, has become one of the most iconic sequences in MMA history. It was born from confidence, timing, mastery. But for one aspiring fighter, copying that move became a blueprint for disaster. At a small but well-broadcast MMA event, Gladiator Combat 23 in Las Vegas, a 3-1 featherweight prospect entered the cage with swagger and a Holloway-like haircut. Social media hyped him as the next blessed. Early in round 1, he looked sharp, crisp jabs, decent movement. Then, midway through the second round, he decided to do it. He dropped his hands, pointed to the center of the cage, shouted, "Come on," just like Holloway, and even mimicked the side-to-side head movement. The opponent, a gritty, less heralded brawler with heavy hands, obliged. But unlike Kattar, he didn't miss. Seconds later, the imposter was flatlined with a right hook. The crowd gasped. EMTs rushed in. The taunt that was meant to go viral for its coolness instead became a viral cautionary tale. Clips hit Twitter within minutes. The title was brutal. "Wannabe Holloway gets hollowed out skull." Fans chimed in with brutal commentary. "That's why you don't play with your food. Max earned that move. You didn't." Confidence without defense is just arrogance. Max Holloway himself hasn't commented, but his fans didn't hold back. The message was clear. Don't try to replicate greatness unless you've earned it. Showboating in MMA is nothing new. From Anderson Silva's dancing to Israel Adesanya's Naruto pose, flair and swagger are part of the spectacle. But there's a fine line between calculated charisma and foolish risk. Max Holloway can taunt because he's done the work. He has hundreds of rounds, elite-level experience, and a granite chin. His best boxer moment wasn't just for show. It was a psychological tactic honed through years of discipline. For a 3-1 prospect in a mid-tier promotion, it was a shortcut to humiliation. After the fight, the defeated fighter, still dazed but recovered, posted an apology on Instagram. "Tried to do something I hadn't earned. Got punished. Back to the lab." To his credit, he owned the mistake. And hopefully, he learns from it. Because in MMA, imitation without foundation is more dangerous than any opponent. While Khabib's defiant matchmaking maneuver raised eyebrows in boardrooms, the Holloway mimics KO was a grassroots reminder of MMA's raw nature. One was about power, politics, and prestige. The other about respect, discipline, and reality. And both, in their own way, underline why this sport continues to captivate millions. In Khabib's world, every move is strategic. Every announcement is about shaping the future of the sport. He believes in elevating fighters who have earned their place, not waiting for rankings to line up perfectly. In the regional scene, every fight is a chance to rise or fall. The line between brilliance and embarrassment is razor thin. The gloves are 4 ounces. There's no margin for arrogance. Whether you're Khabib Nurmagomedov changing the course of elite matchmaking or a young fighter trying to go viral with a Max Holloway impression, the fight game doesn't forgive shortcuts. Khabib's message is clear. He's not waiting for the UFC machine to catch up. Islam is ready for the biggest fights, whether they're in lightweight or beyond. If the promotion doesn't move fast, he will. Meanwhile, the KO of the Holloway impersonator is a sobering reminder that imitation doesn't lead to greatness. Mastery does. So as fans digest the idea of Islam versus JDM and laugh, or cringe, at the viral KO clip, one truth remains. MMA is the most unpredictable sport on earth. And that's why we love it.